everybody. Welcome to the Going Analog podcast. I'm Christina, your host, and normally we have guests from the industry bring a game and a topic to discuss, but we just came back from Gen Con. I mean, just came back, right?
Well, about a week ago.
Yeah.
We needed some extra time to catch up with all the games we get from Gen Con.
Mm-hmm. And play some of them so we could tell you about them too. So that is today's topic. We're just going to talk about Gen Con games, the games we got to play, we got to see, the things that we're excited about. So this is your big Gen Con download from Going Analog. So we're going to just dive right in.
Are you going to introduce me? Or let me introduce myself to the audience?
Okay, do it.
It takes me so for granted. Hi, everyone. I'm Shu. I'm the co-host here at Going Analog. And her partner, or somewhere down the line in the hierarchy. But anyways, hi.
Everybody knows you. It's fine. It's fine.
Anyways, yeah, so Gen Con is the big show in North America, the biggest game show and convention. And so it's just a crazy 4 days with tons and tons of people. And I think they announced like 80,000 people this year.
Really? Oh, I heard lower than that, but still a lot.
Tens of thousands.
70-some thousand, for sure, at the very least. So,
and then this year's been nice because except for like the very first night we got there, the weather's been the best it's been.
It was amazing. I was like very, very pleasant. Normally you're out there just like sweating balls like all over. It's like disgusting as you go outside from event to event, but it was very pleasant, a little bit overcast, and we had a great time.
Yeah. And so when we call these games Gen Con games, it is possible we got a preview of the game right before Gen Con. But generally speaking, our rule for inclusion on this episode is that the games came out more publicly and available to the public around Gen Con, or they debuted at Gen Con, or we got to try it for the first time at Gen Con. And we should also qualify that most of these games that we're going to talk about today were supplied by the publisher. Actually, we have a ton of them, so we'll actually tell you when they're not. So it's like a game that we bought. But generally speaking, most of these games were provided to us as media copies. So just for full disclosure.
Thank you so much to the publishers. We will discuss those soon. We should talk about, was there like an exciting event that happened that really sticks in your mind about Gen Con before we dive into the games? Sure.
Well, I mean, my favorite party every year to attend to is the Panda Games Manufacturing Party. So we appreciate that they invite us to this. It's like an industry party. We get to mingle. Our friend and fellow content creator Grant Lyon did a comedy set there this year at the show or at this party. So yeah, it's like a nice chill event. There's not really game playing, so that was kind of like a nice break from the rest of the show. But otherwise, yeah, we went to a bunch of different media events, but we tried to not do so many meetings this year because last year we filled our schedule with scheduled events and it was just too much. We were just running around nonstop trying to get from one appointment to another. So this year we're like, we want to enjoy because we love going to Gen Con. So I wanted to enjoy the show more and take on fewer meetings and scheduled appointments.
At that Panda party, I love the photo booth. So maybe we'll put some pictures up in our post about this too. So we had some fun photo booths with some friends. For me, I was very excited to meet Sai Beppu, who is this Japanese artist who is at the special event for Twinkle Twinkle for All Play. So All Play, the publisher of a new Twinkle Twinkle game. Sai Beppu did a lot of art for several of their games that are coming out, including Soda Jerk, which we're going to talk about really soon. But she was so pleasant and lovely, and I got her to sign my copy of Soda Jerk. So I love her work in Nana, and she did Nikosu Dice and all these other like great games, very cute, pretty art, and I was very excited to meet her. So
yeah, Christina doesn't fangirl about a lot of things in the gaming industry except her. She's one of them.
Some designers and some illustrators. It's just like fun to meet them. So very talented people. Very excited. We're going to dive into talking about party games because for Gen Con, a big thing that we like to do is we try to still get some games in. A lot of people find that Gen Con is super busy. They don't play as many games. We always set aside some time so that we play some big group games with some folks that we don't get to see that often. So we had several party games that we got to play this time. So which one stood out for you?
Yeah. So we're going to go through a few of our our favorite party games that we did get to play from Gen Con, and then pick one each as our party game of the show. So why don't you go first? You have a couple of those.
Yes. Okay, so one of the fun ones that we bought, because we walked by and I was like, what is this? There was this game called, this Lego official game called Brick Like This. And so this is a party game along the same lines as, what's that building one? The three... I can't think of this other game, but you're building stuff basically. And so in Brick Like This, you and a teammate are trying to communicate to build a very specific Lego build. And so one person gets to see the build that you're making. The harder version, you actually only see the silhouette. So you have to figure out how to describe the pieces to your partner for them to build, because you're not allowed to point or touch the thing. They have to build it yourself. So,
are you thinking Team 3?
Yes.
Team 3.
Something 3.
Yep.
It reminds me of Team 3, which is another very fun building game. But in this, it's very simple. You could play it with kids. You could play it with adults. If you like Lego, it's a fun option. You're just talking really quickly, trying to build before the other teams. And then the fun part about it is as you build your structure at the very end, you can tell if you did it right because you just lay it flat onto the card. And if it matches exactly, you did well. And then you win that card. You're trying to play several rounds to see who does the best. With only adults, it's just sort of like a fun activity because you do sort of start figuring out the best way to communicate when you have the same partner. Plus, I was playing once, and my partner was Andrew Santoro from Ship Theory Games. He's our buddy, and we both really like Lego, so we were just killing everybody. We played 2 rounds, and we're like, we'll win, so it's okay. We'll just move on. But we had a good time with it. I love Lego. It's a very cute game.
Yeah, if you can see it, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, you can see on the cover, you can see what one of the cards looks like. It's just a silhouette of the final structure. Mm-hmm. So it's always a flat kind of 2-dimensional object sort of.
And you got to figure it
and
out.
And you just got to match it. Yeah. And it's like the beginner cards show you where the pieces go, but the later cards are just like, it's just a silhouette. So you kind of have to count the studs and everything and try to make sure it fits. Yeah. All right, another game we both really enjoyed is Rolly, and this is coming out later this year. I think it's an
Essen release?
I think it's a December
release.
Yeah, okay, I saw somewhere else. Mm-hmm. This is Rolly. It's from Randolph Games. It's not out yet. It's not even, as the time of this recording, it's not even listed on Board Game Geek.
We're so cool.
So in this game, there's going to be a bunch of paper bills laid out, like a stack of 10s, a stack of 5s, a stack of 2s, 0s, and -5s. This is all money that you're going to collect. So you roll 2 dice, and you can see the dice here. I have those same values on the dice, plus an R that counts as a wild. And then players will take turns rolling the 2 dice. And then between the 2 dice, you pick one of them to take that bill. But why would you take a lower value bill, like a -5? There's also these bonus chips where at the end of the game, whoever has the most -5s, for example, could score up to 100 points. So it's a little bit of a risk. Like, do I take negative points for a chance to get the majority bonus
100.
On the plus 100 or a plus 70? So it's really fun because you keep rolling. And if you ever roll doubles, if you're not careful, you can basically bust. And then, so you also have a chance when you see the roll is instead of collecting money, I'm just going to bank and kind of step out of this round and not collect anymore. But it raises the pressure because you're seeing all other players still continuing to play, continuing to pick up money. And then, so you're just like, oh man, did I pull out too early? And I'm not getting to collect all this extra money. But then if they bust, then it's like a huge victory. Like, I banked my money just in time before everyone busted. So it's just a lot of push your luck, but a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed this game.
Yeah. So really good times. We also played a lot of Martian Dice, which is a reprint of an older game. And it's really, really simple. So especially when we're like, we're waiting for like 5 minutes for this other other table to finish, you just take a whole handful of dice and you roll them. You are Martians trying to capture things to experiment on, like humans, chickens, and cows, basically. But the humans, of course, are trying to fight back. So if you ever roll any tanks, they are locked, and you have to eventually get enough death rays to negate those tanks, or you score nothing.
Because we are the aliens.
We are the aliens, obviously.
Yeah, I was literally waiting for for Christina to use the bathroom at Gen Con, and I was in the Calliope booth, and then there were there was an open table. And
good job pronouncing it.
Yeah, I just pronounced it Calliope, and it's Calliope. St. Grant, the aforementioned Grant, taught me. But anyways, they had an open table. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll check it out. I'm like, this is a lot of fun. So we bought the game there.
Played it a lot, just like waiting in the airport, just between games and stuff. So fun party game there.
All right. The last one on our party game list is Bot or Not by Rabble Games. So this is a game, like if I explain to you, you probably heard a lot of similar concepts. I think Rabble Games does a good job of taking existing ideas and improving upon them in a way that's actually substantial. Like they improved upon the Time's Up formula, I think, with Rabble, the game, and so on. So, but anyways, Bot or Not, there are, at your table, there's going to be one or two bots who are hiding amongst the humans. So it is a hit and roll game. But the way you kind of discover those people is the guesser, everyone takes turns being a guesser, will show a card. They won't look at it themselves, but they'll show everyone else at the table a number of 1 through 10. Everyone has their own prompt, like with a range of things to talk about. See, this concept you've seen in games like Wavelength or Ito or That Escalated Quickly. So one might be if you got arrested, a cringe way to get arrested or a cool way to get arrested, from a scale of 1 to 10, or a movie that's from like good for kids all the way to only good for adults, 1 through 10. So when everyone sees this number, they give the guesser an answer because they're trying to get the guesser to guess what that number is. But everyone has a different prompt. So mine might be a movie prompt. Christina might have something about food and whatever. And then so the guesser's listening to all of these things, trying to guess what the number is that they showed everybody, but the bot's trying to throw them off without being too obvious. And you can kind of figure it out from there. It's like, okay, if they don't guess the number right, then everyone's trying to figure out who's the bot who try to mislead the guesser and so on. So really fun. I like this game, like compared to the other games that we talked about where they're kind of conversation starters and very subjective, and it's meant to be very subjective. I like this because instead of one prompt for the whole group or the whole table, everyone has their own prompts. So every discussion is very lively and really fun because you might have 6 people playing and 6 different prompts, and then everyone's discussing each other's prompts. So yeah, really cool game.
And the fun part is even the guesser could be the bot. So they might be trying to guess incorrectly, but also close enough so that they don't get, called out for being the bot. And the fun part was when our friend Steve was the bot, he accidentally guessed the correct number. And so he helped the humans win, which is great. Love Rabble Games. They're super fun. I bought this very cool Board Game Club sweatshirt swag from them too. They have very cool aesthetic. So I bought this one and it's now my favorite sweatshirt. So yay.
Oh. What was your party game of Gen Con?
It was Bot or Not, I think. I had a lot of fun with it. I was the bot once and I fooled everybody, mainly because everybody else's clues were so bad. I was like, I'm just going to play this straight. And I think that that they're still going to guess it wrong. So I was right.
Mine was almost going to be Rolly, but after a few plays of both this weekend, I'm like, I enjoy both a lot, but Bot or Not has me laughing a lot more. And I think that's a good quality of a good party game is like everyone's laughing. No one's taking it too seriously. So for me, also Gen Con party game of the show, Bot or Not.
Unanimous.
Let's go into some light games of Gen Con. So,
our
favorite light games that we played.
So, some fun ones that I discovered. There's a new version of Campy Creatures from Keymaster Games. Campy Creatures came out many years ago at this point, and it's the main premise is you have the same hand of monsters as everybody else. You are a mad scientist trying to use these monsters to gather human subjects to experiment on. So they're going to give you points. Maybe you want to avoid some humans or gain other ones. And the way that you play your monsters gives you different priority, or they might cancel out the powers of other monsters. So there's a fun sort of clash of cards that you're playing. You're trying to figure out, hey, are they going to use their big monster card here, or are they going to save it? So the new setup is less setup, actually. So this new edition of Campy Creatures
Volume 1.
Volume 1, they've really streamlined the game. The old game was still fairly fast, it was like, a card game and everything, but it's a very fast game now. Plays really quickly. I think it streamlines so many things that you could play another game of it very, very quickly. The art's really great. I think they revamped all of the art, so it was really fun. I want to play a little bit more to dig into the main differences between them, but it's been so long since I played the original Campy Creatures, it was a little hard for me to remember. But everything seems to go a lot faster in this game. It's Volume 1, so they're saving some other monsters for Volume 2, which is going to be exciting.
Yeah, and it has this fantastic retro kind of movie poster,
B-movie vibe.
Yeah, creatures art. Mm-hmm. The art's fantastic, and I love this genre of, I still don't know what it's officially called, where everyone has the same cards, and the whole gameplay is like, when do you play which card? Like Mission Red Planet, Campy Creatures, Libertalia, games like that.
I think it's like Super Fancy Rochambeau.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, so next is, let's go with Mythical Dice. I was really, really excited to check this out because this is sort of a successor to Skull King, which is my favorite trick-taking game, but in dice form. And so the first thing you should know is you have to embrace that these are dice. They're not cards. So it's going to be a lot more chaotic, a little bit more crazy, less dependable. But the basic idea is it's similar to trick-taking, where if I roll a red die, first of all, we're going to all take turns drafting dice. We're going to go into, not even drafting. You're going to go into a bag, pull out some dice. And then for first round, everyone gets 1 die. Second round, 2 dice, and so on, all the way to, I believe it was 8 rounds with 8 dice, something like that. But when you draft all these dice, you put them behind your player screen, and then you're looking at, okay, I have 2 red dice, I have 2 gray dice, I have a green die. Certain dice are powerful. They're like certain creatures, like the Minotaur, that can only defeat a certain other monster. It's the most powerful die, but there's another monster that can beat it. So it has, some of the monsters have a rock, paper, scissors relationship. Other dice have higher value pips, but they also have white flags, which means they lose automatically. Different ratios of those things. So you have all this chart on your player screen to show you what all the different dice do. And then when you take all your dice, you have to make a decision. Everyone counts. They could actually go Minotaur, like 1, 2, 3. And you put out a number showing how many tricks you think you could take and win with the dice you're given. And then you'd play 1 trick at a time, similar to a trick-taking game, but you're rolling dice. So even though you have really great dice, they might not like you that much, and it could go all wrong. So some people won't like it some people absolutely will not like this as much as Skull King because it is less strategic, but it has the same vibe. Again, if you embrace the chaos, embrace the unpredictability, it was a lot of fun. Like, cause we were playing at first, people were like, yeah, not as good as Skull King. But by the last few rounds, people were laughing. People were anticipating the dice rolls. They're like, all right, let's go. Give me this. And then they roll the wrong thing. And everyone's like, so it has that kind of wildness and kind of energy. It was a lot of fun to play.
Which is crazy. I haven't played a full game of it, but I enjoyed the demo. We have a bunch of so many good games, so many different games we got. I mentioned earlier that All Play had this event where they demoed it, or actually played a full game of Twinkle Twinkle. So Twinkle Twinkle is a new sort of bigger box game from All Play. Normally they have sort of small games. These have really cool acrylic tiles, and you are observing the night sky, trying to find constellations or black holes. And so basically it's tile drafting and laying game, essentially. But the extra twist is these tiles are totally clear. So like most tile drafting games, most of the time you can turn them around. Here you can even flip them the other way because you're trying to have the best layout to score, of course. So planets are going to score a different way. Black holes need to be away from stars and things like that. So they all have their own little placement maximizing rule. And at the same time, if you build out these different constellations, they'll score in different ways. So when you flip them around, you can build a longer constellation, maybe more separate constellations, and then you try to score the best that you can. It ends up super, super pretty, very quick turns. We played with the Never Bored gamers. Never Bored gaming people who were very loud and fun. So hi. But I remember somebody was bragging that they've been winning all their games, and guess what? I won Twinkle Twinkle that night.
Yeah. For me, this replaces King Domino, which is a classic, like a kind of gateway game because
Mm-hmm.
there's more interesting, like there's just more dynamic ways of scoring, and you could change those. So like the way comets score in one game,
That's
you could
true.
pick a
Mm-hmm.
different card
Mm-hmm.
and have it score differently in a different game, and you could mix and match these. There's also an expansion
Mm-hmm.
with more different tiles and different ways of scoring those as well. And so, but the drafting's the same way where. If I have first picked of the draft, I might pick a better tile that's later, but then I risk going later for the next pick. So you have to make those decisions of like, do I pick a lesser tile so that I could get an earlier pick the next round? Or do I go after something that I really want that's really good, but it's farther down the line and it gives me a later pick later? So just like King Domino, that same kind of drafting system that
That's
I really
simplified.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is still a light game, but it's a little deeper than King Domino, I think. Not as colorful because it's night sky themed, but it is definitely a pretty and a really cool game.
Yeah, the production value is super nice, and you have this beautiful bag and those crazy acrylic tiles. So beautiful production as usual from All Play. So great game. Mm-hmm.
All right, another one I want to talk about is tag team. So this is like not normally our wheelhouse. Like we're constantly going to Hachette and playing games that are like, it's not normally our style game, and then we're like, this is cool. So this
teaching us who we really are.
Yeah, maybe,
so
yeah.
That's what's going on.
This is a 2-player head-to-head card combat game. Not really kind of TCG or CCG style. It's not that deep. But the idea is, if you're looking at this video, you can see on the side of the box that's showing 12 different characters that you can play. Each one has its own deck and board and sometimes extra components. But what you do is pick 2 of these characters, you shuffle the 2 decks together, similar to the game Smash Up, and then you just go head to head. You're going to draw 3 cards. You have starter cards, I think, if I remember, that you set up, but you have to have the order the way you want them because you're never going to shuffle after the initial shuffle. So then Christina and I will play, and then I'll turn up my first card against her first card, and we'll compare if we might both attack each other. If she has a shield and I attack, then she blocks it. It might be something that kind of powers up her character and so on. And then in subsequent rounds, you add additional cards. You'll draw 3 cards, put 2 to the bottom, 1 into your hand, into your deck, and then, sorry, not your deck, but it's sort of your hand. Yeah. So in those 3 cards, again, you can't change the order, but you have to now decide this new card. Does it go into before 1, between 2 and 3, etc., which changes the cadence of your play. And then so there's a lot of mind games there because I was playing with our friend Phil, and I noticed like my second card was an attack and his second card was always a shield. So he was blocking consistently. So I'm like, let me put in an early card to make that attack now card number 3 and hope he doesn't do the same. And then now my attack could get around the shield. So it was really very simple. Like, can I change up the order of this to play the cards out the way I want? Again, you never shuffle. You just keep the same order and add cards to it. But then the characters are very different. Like I had a character that would slowly bleed out, but I'm hoping to do more damage to the other player before I die myself. Christina had a character one time that was pretty weak, but if she could build up enough rage
until he turns into a bear.
Yeah, and then she'll flip over her player card and then turn into this really powerful bear that does huge amounts of damage with each attack. So every character has their own kind of nuances and ways to kind of build up power or.
And when powerful. You pair them up, so like I had the bear dude paired up with a monk who was good at healing. So if I could keep him alive by like healing my weak dude, eventually he'll turn into the bear. So that was the plan. We never finished game, but that was the plan.
Well, I played a full game later, but yes. Yeah, there's a lot of, I played a few games since, and then it's really cool. Still a really light game and really simple game, but just the variety with the 12 different characters being able to mix and match, it's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of people call it sort of like an auto battler because of how you arrange the cards. Once it's there, then you just keep flipping and you see what happens. So yeah, fun times. And next one I want to talk about is probably Beasts by Clarence Simpson. Very interesting game. So this is, again, one we're not normally into. It's a cooperative game. I think it was inspired by the game. Mm-hmm. The game, in which you play numbered cards that try to ascend, essentially. So there's some twists to this, of course, because in beasts, instead, you have 3 positions. You have a ones place, a tens place, a hundreds place. It feels like I'm back in elementary school, right? And then you have all of these different types of cards. So there's the 4 suits, but then each suit is subdivided into like a shiny and a non-shiny, basically.
It's like whole hearts
whole and broken,
or broken hearts.
yeah,
Whole spades, broken spades.
But the production is crazy on this. There's so much shiny foil. It's very, very pretty. So as you're playing it, your goal is just to legally play out all your cards. However, that's like your cards in hand and also the entire deck. And when you're trying to legally play it, every time you play your turn, you have to play every card of that suit. So as I play it, each number needs to ascend overall. So like if I put down a 2...
the common 3-digit number that we're making, right?
Mm-hmm,
With
in the
the
very
zeros,
middle.
Tens and hundreds digits.
Has to continually increase. So you're trying to play these cards out and not get too high too quickly. But at the same time, there are some beasts in the deck. And these beasts will go and sit out onto your main tableau and block certain types of cards from getting played. So you're strategizing and like trying to communicate with your team, but not telling them what you have in hand to see like, oh, I would really like it if this position here could get cleared. So you're trying to figure out a strategy to play everything out. And then at the very end, the final number, if you successfully win, will be your score. So you can make it easier and harder. And the main thing that I am intrigued by, but also scared by, is I saw that Clarence Simpson online was saying he saw a whole video playthrough where they played with every single beast. So I think there's like maybe 8 total beasts. The regular mode where you start off only has 4 beasts to block things. So these people played with all 8 beasts and they got the max score. And I'm like, I should 999. Should I just give up on life? I don't know. It seems really crazy. So, but a really intriguing game. And if you're into these little puzzles, cooperative puzzles, highly recommend.
Yeah, and it's so simple too. Mm-hmm. Like we were playing with Grant, and then he was saying like, man, how do you come up with this? Like, how does a designer think of such a cool, simple game, right? It's so simple, but it's like really clever. So yeah, that's Beasts from publisher
Panasaurus. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a 2-player game, another 2-player game. Again, we don't play a ton of them, but this was a cute one. We played this a couple of times at the airport as we were leaving Gen Con. It's called Floristry. And the idea is both of us are running a flower shop and we're collecting or we're drafting these tiles that have, they're kind of domino-like pieces. They're a little bit long with 2 different plants on each half of it. So it's like
flowers.
Flowers, yeah. So what you're trying to do, and then you'll lay them into your flower shop and then you're connecting them similar to dominoes, but you're trying to build like, I want the most roses or I want the most tulips. I don't know flowers really well. I don't know if these are the actual flowers, but you get the idea. Like the red and the yellows, you want to create huge clumps of them. But how you get them is very tense. Like it's almost like it's a cozy game, except for this part.
The main part.
Yeah.
So how you get the tiles.
For each round, you lay out 4, you draw from the bag 4 tiles, you set them out in the middle, and then you'll do an auction, Dutch auction, which is, and I've only learned this phrase this year. Like it's come up in a couple of different games now. They created a web app so you could just play this on your phone, straight from a browser. So you don't even, it's not even an app that you have to download and install. And then, when you're ready, when both players are ready, a countdown will begin. And then the countdown at certain time intervals, I think it's like 15 seconds long, will start to lower the price, right? It's like, it might be like everything costs 5 now 4, now 3. Then the first one to buzz in will get it at that price. So then
that's how much you paid.
Yeah, and that's how much you pay. So
tense.
It's super stressful because it's like, oh, these tiles are great. I have to beat Christina, but how much am I willing to pay? If I hit it too early and she wasn't going to bid that much, then I've overpaid for it. And you only have so much money for the entire game. Or do I wait as long as possible and try to psych Christina out and just try to barely beat her? Or maybe she might beat me because she's aggressively going after it. Because the winner will get 3 of these 4 tiles of their choice. The other player only gets one, the leftover. So it's quite a difference. It's not like, oh, it's second place isn't that bad. Second place is pretty bad. So you want to win every auction, but you don't have unlimited money to do so. And you have to manage this throughout the game. And any leftover money can be worth additional points. So really, really simple. It takes like a minute to learn, and then it's just like this tense kind of face off. Like Christina's actually like hitting me, like because she's mad that she lost an auction here and there. But super cute game.
Gently hitting.
Yeah,
yes,
very cute. Wholesome, but very tense in place for the bidding.
Really good 2-player game.
Yeah, Floristry, and that's by what is the publisher? Because we had the designers the designers and we met Tam, but their company is it? It's not Scam.
Is it Up? I don't know. But anyway, it's very cool. Thanks. And very cute. There's a little like cat little point marker at the end too, and then a little promo where you could try to collect some cats. A mini expansion. Also, I have Fliptoons. So Fliptoons was a surprise for me. I hadn't heard anything about it. Shu played it because Grant showed it to him first. And then when Shu started explaining this game to me, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to really like it. And I do, because I love deck builders. And this scratches this like really fast deck building itch. It's an itch. Yeah, sure. I play a lot of deck builders. Anyway.
I'm glad it gets to scratch that deck building itch for you.
So the art is cute. It's like this sort of very classic, old school, like cartoony sort of vibe. But the fun part about this game is there are a very distinct number of animals with different values. Those are going to come out onto the collective market. And the fun twist to this part is like you have a starting hand or a starting deck like everybody else does, but instead of just playing them out like 5 cards at a time, you actually build out a grid, a 2x3 grid typically. And so you're laying them out, and the positioning of your characters may affect how much fame they give you. And your goal is to like everybody compares their fame in the very first part, and then that will tell you like how much money you also have to spend. Right. So that's going to get you some better tunes that will interact in different ways. But that grid that seems very rigid, the 2x3, as you add new tunes, they may either stack on other cards. They may be played off to the side. They may turn over other cards or get rid of them. So there's a lot of zany interactions and comboing in this game. And the fun like extra twist that I like about this is you have this 30 fame goal. If you hit 30 fame, that signals the end of the game, but it will trigger it, but you get one more round. Everything clears between rounds. So you're not building up and like collecting points along the way. It's like every single round you're trying to get as many points as possible. And so whoever gets the most points at the very last round of the game is going to win. And that's it.
Yeah, it's super simple. It plays really quick, really easy to understand, and it's really satisfying. Yeah. But it's also, unlike other deck building games, you're not like, okay, these get discarded, and then we pull out the new cards and then shuffle everything when I need to. All cards get shuffled immediately.
Every single time.
Yeah, every single round. So it feels really quick because the new card you just bought might be playable immediately in the next round. But also you want to do a lot of culling to make sure that your deck is really tight too, so that the cards appear in the 6th grade. I could say 3x2. When you say 2x3 is a weird way to describe that grid.
Rows by columns, 2x3. Rows by columns.
1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3.
2 rows by 3 columns. It's always rows by columns. That's how you do matrices, okay? Math.
Okay.
So
let's do one more light game because we still got a bunch to get through.
Yeah.
This is Soda Jerk, also from All Play. We heard some things about it. Some people are talking about like, oh, it's a fun game.
Side Beppu are signed.
And then so at the All Play event, they did give out a bunch of small box games to media. So the Soda Jerk, the idea here is there's 5 different soda flavors that are listed at the middle table, like strawberry, kiwi, orange, and so on. So you will also, all the players will be dealt a bunch of cards with those same sodas or same suits. So I might have strawberry cards, I might have banana cards and stuff, valued 1 through 3. On your turn, the first round, everyone's going to play one of those cards underneath one of the central soda markers face down. So if I put, for example, a 3 strawberry underneath the 3 strawberry fountain, that means that I'm making strawberry sodas more valuable. But if I take that same 3 strawberry card, put it face down on the banana column, I'm devaluing and watering down.
Some disgusting
I'm making
soda.
some disgusting soda. I'm ruining the banana sodas. So everyone's putting these cards face down, but on your future turns, you can also, instead of putting a card face down in one of those columns, you could flip one face up to see what other people are putting in there, right? Like, is Christina sabotaging the grape sodas, or is she making them better? And then
spoiler, Shu always spoils everything.
she called me the soda jerk. So at the end, what you do is whatever your leftover cards are when the round end triggers, those cards, for each of those cards, you're going to get the total net value of each of those sodas. So if grape soda is worth 3 points at the end, you subtract all the bad sodas, include all the good ingredients, like all the good blueberry grapes in that. And if that value is 3, and I have 3 leftover grape cards, then I get 9 points.
I think you picked the one fruit that's not in here, but yes.
There's got to be grape soda.
Blueberry.
There's no grape soda in here?
No, there is none. Anyway, it's very funny.
I'm going to look this up now because there's got to be grape.
No, there isn't. So Chu was the big soda jerk, and he was always messing things up, but he ended up winning. So
you're right. There's no grape soda.
Yeah, I told you. The funny part about this one is because you can really tank the value of some of these sodas. Our poor friend Keith at one point got stuck with a lot of cards of this very disgusting soda, and he ended up losing 48 points in one round, which was sort of insane.
He had a ton of cards in the worst ingredient that everyone was ruining, and he just somehow missed that everyone was tanking the soda and just lost a lot of points. Yeah. Fun, light card. I think besides merchandise, Soda Jerk was the other one that, like, this is in Fliptoons too, like really easy to break out. We're constantly breaking out. Fliptoons is the one I think most people bought. Like, like a lot of these games people would buy after we would show them, but I think Fliptoons was the one that consistently, like, people were like, I'm going to go buy this. I'm going to go buy this. But,
which is my light game of Gen Con. It was Fliptoons.
Oh, so there's one we don't have a copy of. So would you call A Place for All My Books light or medium?
That's going to be medium.
Okay, we'll say that.
Why did you spoil everything?
Because I think it's
Soda jerk.
It's a
Soda
light game.
jerk.
All right, let's move on to the medium. Oh, wait, sorry. Yours is
Fliptoons.
Fliptoons?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Scratch that itch for me.
That itch that doesn't go away. Yeah, mine is Fliptoons as well. That's like a crowd pleaser. It's like
fun.
really fun.
I play it right now. So good.
Fliptoons is my Gen Con game of the year. Okay, let's move on to medium games of Gen Con.
Yeah, there's a lot. So this is where we got a lot of games, I think.
Yeah, and then some of you might be watching, listening, and be like, I don't know if I call that a medium game or whatever. The kind of weight level gets kind of iffy here because we don't actually play a lot of heavy games at Gen Con. You just don't have time to spend like 2, 3, 4 hours on one game, and to learn it and to set it up and to teach it. So give us a little bit of flexibility in kind of how we interpret light or medium and hard or heavy games. But the first one we'll talk about is Chronologic.
Choose most anticipated game of Gen Con.
Chronologic Cusco 1450. So the original Chronologic that came out a couple years ago is Chronologic Paris 1920. And I love that game. I showed it to so many people over the years. I'm constantly breaking out. So our favorite logic deduction games, like Search for Planet X, Search for Lost Species, Chronologic is there for me too. And Chronologic plays much faster than the other two games. So if there are people who are newer to logic deduction, I'll show them that. We just basically described it kind of like Clue, but
way better.
Way better than Clue. This is a sequel. It's a standalone sequel. And then it takes place, the setting's different, the era is different. But the gameplay is 90% the same. It's like the idea is there's going to be a bunch of characters. You have this map. Each hour, they have to move to one adjacent location. And then this one is similar to the last game. There's 6 different locations that are connected by paths, and you have a sheet of paper, and you get some starting information, and you have to know, like, oh, the priestess is starting here. That means in hour 2, she has to be here or here, the adjacent areas and locations. In Cusco, the kind of difference besides the setting and the theme and the layout of the rooms, sometimes different scenarios will have roads that are blocked. And so like no one can pass through this. And so it makes these 2 normally adjacent locations no longer adjacent, which shifts the way people move. But you have to make a decision. You pick one location and you have to look up either a character in the game. You piece these 2 pieces together, and through the little cutouts, it's going to give you some information, some that you share with everybody, some one piece of information that's just for you. So you might know how many times was a certain character in a certain location throughout the night, like 3 times. For example, and then the person who picked that action might know, oh, they were at the
Fortress.
In one of those times. Okay, so you know
Like
a little bit of
exact time.
information. The other thing you could do is pick the location in an hour, and it'll tell you tells everybody how many people were in that location at that hour. And then you, as the person selected action, will know one of those people in that. So you might tell everyone 2 people were at the fortress in hour 3, and I might know, one of them is the priestess, for example. So, I love the system, and I'm happy for more content because I played through all of Chronologic Paris.
Not that you remember it, but
Yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I've played some scenarios multiple times because it's like if you don't play long enough, you're like, I don't remember the answer, so I could play it again.
Although, if Shu wins, you can say you probably played this before.
Yeah.
So,
So this comes with 3 new scenarios with 5 investigations each. This is immediately tougher because it starts off like Paris starts off with 1 star. I think it goes up to 5 or 6 stars.
Just 5.
5 stars. This one starts at 3 stars, and we've seen like in the later stars it goes up to 7 stars, maybe more. But so it's immediately designed for people who are like either good at logic deduction games or played the old one. But I was so excited for this, played it, and I was just happy the whole time playing. I love this system, and it's just such a neat, easy logic deduction game, but still really fulfilling.
One I was surprised by, because I guess I don't keep up with news, is I saw that in the Asmodee booth we got the new Forest Shuffle, which is a standalone sequel to Forest Shuffle, the original, which I love. Really, I think that was like maybe 2 Gen Cons ago or something like that. I don't remember.
You can say the name.
This is now Forest Shuffle Dartmoor. So we have building out a forest in the moor area with moors and stuff. So instead of just trees, we now have different terrain types that are moors. So
is this like Scotland or something? Like where?
Yeah, like South British Islands area. Sort of like, it reminds me of Sherlock Holmes area. There's a lot of like, I don't know. I used to read all the Sherlock Holmes. So a lot of mysteries took place on the moors. That's all I know. And you've got sheep, you have different animals and plants that are unique to the moors area. But the fun part is it is still Forest Shuffle, and I still like Forest Shuffle, but because all the cards are new and now you can draft a sort of starting power with different caves, there's little tweaks to it, but the main attraction for me is I love the system, but now all of the cards are different, and the same strategies that worked for original Forest Shuffle, you have to figure out the new ones for this new Dartmoor version. Very pretty still. I had a great time. You can stack the cards in different ways depending on if it's terrain or trees. But yeah, it's just like multi-use cards, and you try to make a great biome of the moors.
Yeah, I haven't played this one yet, but I'm excited too. When we walked by the Asmodee store, we saw signs for sort of like, that's an instant buy. I don't know what's going on or what it is or what's different about it.
But I want it and I need it, and now I have it.
We love Forest Shuffle so much that we had to have it immediately. Okay, another game that came out at Gen Con is Roth from Chip Theory Games. This is I describe, like, you heard the cliche, a knife fight in a phone booth, which is kind of an old reference. I don't know if people know what phone booths
What's
are.
a phone booth?
Yeah. So the idea is it's an area control game with very asymmetrical different factions fighting it out. And they're on a really tiny map. Like, you're almost immediately right. You have like 1 or 2 rounds before you're right on top of one of your neighbors. And different territories have different value to them. So you want to be able to have the majority control in that area. But you have different units, and then they'll go into the different areas, and they might kick somebody out, or it might force people out, or it might have trigger different powers, or you might be able to bring in more people and things like that. So it's a really colorful, beautifully illustrated game.
Manny Tremblay, crazy art and design also.
Yeah. And then and I love games that have really asymmetrical abilities. Like, each one will play very different. That is possibly a drawback too, as well, because the learning curve is a little bit higher because you might play a 4-player game and you're like, what does that character for your faction do again? And what is
you're like,
that
don't
character?
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So like, it's like everyone has multiple units and they all behave differently and the different factions. So it's a lot to keep track of at first. But it doesn't take long. It's not a really super heavy game. It's not super complicated otherwise. And that's Roth. And it also comes with 2 additional expansions right now with 2 new factions. And it's, again, I love this. I love being like, I want more factions. Because they all do something so different. So
and they look very, very cool.
Yeah. So that's Roth.
And then we have a whole series of medium
Talk
games.
about these
Yeah.
guys. All right, so we're going to go over these quickly. This is the Reiner Knizia sci-fi trilogy from Bitewing Games. So this is Orbit, Ego, and Silos. So maybe a year ago or so, Bitewing Games, the publisher, sent us an early prototype copy of Silos, which we took to retreat with other content creators, and we shared the copy so it could get more coverage. But at the time, we're like, Silos is really, really good. Like, we're kind of blown away, like, how good it is. It's a remake of an older Reiner Knizia game, but it's area control, and it's also a retro UFO kind of theme where you want to capture humans and you want to capture cows, and you're trying to time it because there's UFO going around. And if you want to time it so that you can activate the UFO right when you have majority control in that spot. Different spots give you different powers, and it's really simple. But it kind of gives me vibes of one of my favorite area control games of all time, El Grande. Yeah. So like one area might give you like, hey, this area will let you steal a human from another player if you have control. This one will let your aliens who are disguised as humans graduate from university, wear a little graduation cap, a literal cap that they're wearing inside the game, and which gives them additional more influence over a particular area. This other area might change the player order for ties and such. And so really satisfying. So unlike a lot of other area control games, you're not ever putting out more units. All your units are on the map right to begin with, and the gameplay is just shuffling them around in terms like, I only have limited units. Do I make them more powerful, or do I move them here, or am I trying to capture the UFO? Silos is fantastic.
The art is so good too. Like I guess it used to be about like a Roman Senate or something very dry, but now because you are aliens masquerading as 80s humans, you can literally look at the meeples and they are aliens inside like trench coats and stuff like that. It's
so
great.
One side you might
great.
see like a farmer, and the other side you'll see three aliens like stacked on top of each other wearing like the farmer suit, like an Edgar suit from Men in Black.
Yeah, exactly like that. And then I didn't bring it over, but we got the Reiner Knizia plushie, and if you open him up, there's a little alien that comes out. It's like very cute.
So that is Silos. The other game in here is Ego. This is another game in this trilogy, and I didn't know much about this, but we were like, we're like, let's just back them all. Reiner Knizia is a solid designer, and they all look cool. Doctor. So we're like, I'm like, fine, I'm just going to back at the highest level, get all three games, get all the deluxe upgrades. And I'm really glad I did, because we played through all of these and we're like, they're all fun.
They're really different and all really fun.
So this one, the quick synopsis is there's a big map of different areas, and you're a bunch of are you Earthlings? I think you're Earthlings going to visit aliens outer space. But the kind of cool thing is you see the entire board at once and every action that's going to happen in the game. So you know what's going to happen. There won't be any surprises. And at different stops, you might be, I'm picking up more resources, or we're going to get more cards, and the cards are used for bidding. And there's certain big areas where, okay, we stop and now we're going to bid either to get points or to get more resources or to get more cards, or the loser of that auction might get a bad thing that's going to be negative points. And so there's a lot of like push your luck and a little bit of risk taking and like kind of out thinking and outsmarting the other players. But then it's like, okay, but we all know what the next action is going to be, then one after that and the next board and all that. So it's just really colorful, bright, and really unique. And it's like, it's probably number 3 out of these 3 games, but it's still a lot of fun. Like, I played it back to back and I'm like, this is a really neat game with this auction system and such.
And all the art is very, very cool. Different artists for each one. So that one, the first one, Silos, is Kwanchai Moria. This one's from Marie Bergeron. Really cool retro like vibes for all of them in different ways.
Yeah,
so
and this third one, artist is Vincent Dutrait. This is Orbit. And then this game, when you set the board, it might look a little intimidating because you just see a bunch of planets in lines everywhere. It's like a big, not complex, but very tight grid. And then there's lines connecting these planets showing different orbits, but it's not like one sun and everything's an elliptical orbit around it. They're just overlapping orbits all over the place. But you have a home planet, and then your job is to go visit and make a stop at all these other different planets along the way. You can see their orbital lines, but everyone's cards will move these planets. So the whole game, it's really super clever. It's like, okay, I can move the red planet, and I'm really close to the red planet. Do I go there, capture it, and then play a card to move the red planet so the planet will carry me along to intercept the green planet faster? Or do I go through a warp hole to teleport to the other side of the map because it's next to the brown planet? And you're timing all these things. That is really simple because every action takes like a few movements with your UFO and then moving one or more planets. And there's more to it, but this general concept is timing everything to ride the right planets at the right time, where they're going to intercept the orbits at the right time. And it does, I think thematically, it actually makes sense because it's like, yeah, space travel, people aren't just like flying directly to a planet. They're timing it so that the orbits, the planet's going to be at the right place at the right time when you get there. But super simple, really tight. I think out of the three, I was super impressed with Silos. I think that's an objectively awesome game. This I like better. Orbit is my favorite of the trilogy.
It's super satisfying. I only played it once, but when you can make that trip really efficient, it's great because in real life, I love an efficient trip if I have to hit multiple stops. So when you can make it happen, you're like, oh, that feels so good. So really fun game too.
Right. What's your medium weight game of the show?
I think it's actually A Place for All My Books, which I don't have a copy of yet. They ran out. They sold out. But
we have to talk about this one.
Pre-order it. So it's co-designed by one of our friends, Alex Cutler, who is really nice and gave us a whole full demo, essentially, or taught it to us, and then we played a full game. One of the few full games that I could play at the John Con.
At the John Con.
And it's so cute. I love this game so much because I'd heard of it. I was like, yes, I probably will like it, but I've not been backing as many Kickstarters. So I was like, it's fine. I'm not going to do it. Then I played and I was like, I need to have this. So in A Place for All My Books, you are an introvert who loves books. And so you're in your apartment, and the thing that makes you happy and recharges your social battery is to rearrange your books into specific patterns. So there's a lot of spatial element to this game, and you're trying to achieve certain objectives and how you stack your books, but it's also recharging your social battery because that's your energy that you use to go out into the town to gather more books, because that's what you do. And so if you time things well and efficiently, then you can get into town, get all the books and the colors you need to meet these objectives and do some set collection. Everything is just so thematically cute, and the art is great, and it's just like, I love this theme. It's so cute. And then when you go out and you're done and like, oh, I've used up all my energy in town, you go back into your apartment, you rearrange your books, and so you can go out and get more. And that's basically the game, but all of the production is beautiful. It's a Smirk and Dagger game. You can get like deluxeified bits, of course, or their cardboard.
You did get that deluxe version, right?
Yes, I got the deluxe version.
Christina isn't as into deluxe copies as I am.
It depends on the game. It depends on the game. Yeah. This game, I wanted the deluxe copy. So they were really nice because they ran out. They offered a free shipping, so I managed to pre-order it with some free shipping.
To everyone. Yeah, everyone at Gen Con got free shipping if you use their promo code.
So I'm excited to get this game, and there is a very cozy solo mode, which I thought was hilarious. In the solo mode, you are, of course, trying to rearrange your books, go to town and stuff. But the whole time, you're being followed by this very cheery extrovert named Penelope Everready, and you're trying to avoid her and and outscore her, basically. So I thought that was hilarious, and I can't wait to try that out too.
Yeah, super cute theme, beautiful art, and it's plays really quickly. Yeah. Right. It's like there's a lot of like, oh, can I space this right? Can I solve a few objectives at the same time? Because when you're turning in the objectives, you could turn in as many as you have accomplished. So you don't want to just turn in one at a time because that's a waste of time and energy. But you want to spend your action on like, oh, I lay down 3 objective cards at once because I was able to arrange all my books in a way to do that. It's like really satisfying when you could arrange everything perfectly like that. So I really enjoyed that game a lot. And that was really, I was going to make it my medium weight game of the show. But it's yours, right?
It is mine.
That's
totally
yours. Mine. Yeah. That was an easy choice. It was really close, but then I'm going to go with Orbit for my medium game show. Yeah. It's lighter. It's not, I wouldn't say it's real medium weight. It's probably on a light medium side.
Still medium. Medium's a big bucket.
Yeah. I get a lot of joy over playing both those games, but this one's just really cool and unique. And then so I love Orbit out of this trilogy. So that's my medium Gen Con game of the show.
Now, the heavy heavy games are tough for us because we just don't have time to see heavy games. We got to go to a couple meetings and hear about some upcoming heavy games. We heard about the new T game from Board and Dice, and it is eBay with yes, and so that one's going to be a real chonker with like dice drafting and placement and maneuvering and tracks, and there's a lot of stuff going on. That's going to be an Essen release, so we're excited to hear about it. We're both.
I want to play that game badly, but also I'm like, I think it's going to be overwhelming too, because when they're explaining it to us and demoing it for us, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many choices to make in this game. There's so many different things to evaluate. I'm like, it's going to be very slow.
Yeah, there are multiple levels where you can put out buildings that will give you more powers and upgrades, but these buildings will also give you more action spots, but also your opponent action spots. And then when you move from one spot to the next, you could give your opponent more power, essentially, for some of their actions. So you have to weigh that, and then you can go up tracks. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. So it's sort of exciting, very intimidating at the same time.
Yeah, and then so another game we don't have a copy of anymore, but I've played 2 times now. I think you played twice now. Sanctuary. Yay! So this is it's Sanctuary, an Arc Nova game from Capstone. When they invited us to do a demo, I actually got the email, and I'm like, I might not tell Christina and just surprise her and just say, we're going to this meeting, and then she'll go there and find out it's the new Arc Nova game. Because Arc Nova, if you've watched our top 10 games of all time episode, is her number 1 game of all time. So Sanctuary, you want to tell everyone about it?
It is, some people joke that it's baby Arc Nova, but it's just streamlined Arc Nova. So I wouldn't even put it in the heavy games of the con. Yeah. It's just that we didn't really see that many heavy games. So it's just by default going to go into heavy. Because of the game it's inspired by is heavy. So Arc Nova originally has a lot of card play, plus you're building out a map with tiles and a lot of comboing in this way. But when you go to Sanctuary, it's going to be all tile based. So instead of cards that you need to activate or like play at different times, you are drafting tiles, and the tiles can be animals, but they could also be projects and sponsors, and a lot of very similar ideas from Arc Nova, but just much, much, much quicker. I was able to play a 5-player game of Sanctuary. I played a shortened version where we got rid of an objective, but we played that in probably an hour and a half at most, I think. It was pretty amazing. Whereas if you're playing Arc Nova, I barely ever would play it 4 players in real life unless I'm with like very, very experienced players, because that's going to be like a 2-3 hour situation. So much, much, much quicker, and gives you a lot of the same satisfying vibes of building out a really cool zoo, being able to line things up and then get some cool combos going. So I really like this game too. I'll play it again and again.
It's a cool game. I'm excited to get the final copy and play it again and dive more into it. But it's it scratches a lot. We keep using itch in this episode.
Board game itches.
Like it does a lot of Arc Nova-y things, like which card do you pick, which card do you upgrade, where do I place animals, but way, way simplified. Yeah. But also, again, it's not really a heavy game. It's just one of the heavier ones.
I'd definitely say it's medium. It's solid medium weight.
Very much medium, right? Not medium light, not medium heavy, just medium. But yeah, it's like really satisfying because there's different ways of like, this card will combo off of more predators, and you're like, I have another tile that's getting a lot of predators, so you're like, you stack them together to do all these combos and stuff, or you build out a giant layout where all these water-based tiles are all placed together, and they could combo off of each other. So I really, really enjoyed Sanctuary a lot, and can't wait to get our hands on the final copy.
Definitely getting that. All
right, the last game we're going to talk about, this is also like, is it heavy? I don't know if I'd call it heavy, but
it's a long time to play it.
Medium heavy. Well, that's our learning game. Okay. So this is Kinfire Console. And this is a worker placement game in the Kinfire world. The other games that they have, the Incredible Dream has put out in Kinfire, Delve, Kinfire Chronicles, I believe. We've talked about on the show before because our guests have talked about how great these games are. We haven't played them. We don't play a lot of co-op games or campaign games, but this is a standalone separate game in that universe. It's a worker placement game where it feels like a cooperative game that's very competitive. So, and what I mean by that is there are all these bad things that are happening to the city, like this sort of cult that's kind of slowly infiltrating the city, bringing bad things along with them. And then you have to counter them. If no one at the table takes care of this threat, they could win, which is the basically the board game winning and beating everybody. And then they could do things. There's a lighthouse that you have to kind of keep powered up. And if no one's doing this, it's going to help the bad guys win. So, but unlike a lot of cooperative games, it's like when you do take care of these things, you do get a bonus. So it is like, I'll take care of this, but you're not doing it selflessly. You're doing it because it's going to help you advance your goals. Mm-hmm. So you have to balance constantly, like, what do I do to get my objectives, to get what I want, to finish what I want, to get ahead where I want, but also keeping all this bad stuff at bay at the same time. And so there's so many different bad things happening, but there's so many options to tackle them. That's a lot of fun. And then the worker placement spaces, similar to classic games like Lords of Waterdeep, you might be able to upgrade one of the spots so that when other people use a spot from now on, you're going to get a little bit bonus from it. There's different tiers, like in the base game, in the regular game, there's actually 3 levels of these worker placement spots. So at the higher levels, you have to pay more tax to the city, but there's also asymmetrical factions. And then our friend Phil got to collect some money from that tax pool, which annoyed the hell out of all of us. Everyone was always like, your power's unfair. Your power's unfair. So it's like one of those things where everyone felt like they had really cool, awesome powers. And then your workers can be upgraded. They could develop different skills, and you could change those skills to make them more powerful. Like, I pay less taxes here, or I could go where to be able to tackle one of the bad guys in the city while taking a normal action and things like that. So it's beautiful. It's like very, it's not too garish or too colorful. It's just like it has a very specific design and color scheme. Yeah, the color palette's very intentional.
Yeah.
It's a really nice looking game. Mm-hmm. And then with the different tiers, it's physically tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 is like higher and higher, like physically in the game. That looks really cool itself. So there's more to learn about this game because it's not as straightforward as a Lords of Waterdeep, for example. So there is a lot to learn. Our first playthrough, our friend James Hudson actually is like, I'll take the rule book and I'll learn it and then we'll run it. And we're lucky to be sitting next to Ilya from Kovray, was marketing coordinator for Incredible Dream. We're sitting next to him, so we'd ask him questions all the time for clarification. So most people won't have that access to someone who can answer rules right away.
Just text Ilya. It's fine. It's
fine. So I'm definitely going to play more to dive into it because the first play was really awesome. Really enjoyed this game. Kinfire Chronicles console. Kinfire console.
And so what is your heavy game of the con, of the heavy-ish games we saw?
Yeah, so I like them all. Like, again, it feels weird calling Sanctuary, especially this Kinfire console is heavier than Sanctuary. Mm-hmm. So it just feels weird calling Sanctuary my heavy game of the show. But solidly, I'm going to go with Kinfire console for my game of the show, heavy game of the show. There's just a lot going on to it. It's very dynamic. There's a lot of different nuances and levels to it. So I really enjoyed it. Like, I want to play more of it immediately.
And I didn't get to play any heavy games. So I would just have to say Sanctuary because as our friend Brian joked, when that came out, he was like, oh, so is this going to be Christina's new game of the year for 3 years in a row? Who knows? Maybe. I really
because famously for us, like Christina, like somehow managed to make Ark Nova her game of the year twice.
It makes sense. It makes sense in my mind.
Cheating.
So thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks to Mike Zipkin, our fantastic editor, for editing our babble, basically. And we hope to see you. We are going to be at BGGCon in November. It's still early, but, get your tickets. We are going to be running another live quiz show. So have fun with that. And we hope to see you there. And let us know what you were excited about at Gen Con. Thanks. Now you can stop listening. Go play a game. Bye.